Today we're gonna change the battery charger. So first, we disconnect from shore power. I've had this boat for 7 years. The battery charger that's in there is pretty antique. Charges 3 batteries, and it's no longer producing amperage. Turns on, the fuse is good, but no amperage. So it's time to change the battery charger, because we need to keep these batteries topped off so that way the bilge can keep running, the lights can keep running, and when I come down here and I want to start her up, she'll start up. Look at these lights, they're kind of big, huh? They're pretty cool at night. I need to pinch it up a little bit, put a stitch on there. There's always a job. Let's do it. Home sweet home. The engine hatch is here. That's where the battery charger is gonna go. Let's get everything lined up and get the tools ready, because we're about to work some magic here. Today's supposed to rain, so it's a good day to do these kind of jobs. Okay, so this is my battery charger. The voltmeter on it is off because there's no power going to it right now, but even if there was, it no longer runs. I think she just bit the bucket after all the years of service. And there's the wiring. When they installed it, they added a simple release. So I'm gonna unplug here. So we are unplugged, so that's kind of like easy, because this plug goes to the circuit panel, right to the fuse box. And this other end is what powers my my battery charger. So the new one is also a plug and play. So there's the new one, and these plugs here, each one goes to one battery. Got the positive, negative, and there's 3 of them because we have 3 battery banks to power up. One for the starboard motor, one for the port side motor. The house battery is also connected on the starboard side. The alternators will charge the batteries when the boat's running. But when I'm hooked up to shore or a generator running, this is what's gonna power it, keep it charged. And you look, we're at a plug and play. So we just plug this in, and this will get the power from the circuit breaker. So that's kind of easy. Plug it in down there. And then I'm gonna open up my first 2 batteries are right under here. So that'll be quick because it's only a short distance. The problem is my 3rd battery, she's way up there. So that little fuse box you see in there, that's the on-off switch for the winch. I have a Loomer winch that I installed, and the battery is right underneath that mattress. I know, bed's a little messy right now. So it looks like my biggest complication will be tracing the wiring to go all the way up to the bow of the boat where the 3rd battery is. The first 2 batteries, that should be quick and easy. The other battery, I'm going to trace the wiring for it and figure out how I can feed wires to it. Here we go. All right, so I had to trace the wires, and the new battery charger comes with direct connections direct to the batteries, right? This battery charger is connected to a bus bar, and there's 2 positive wires going out to 2 positive connections here. And then up on top on the helm, I have a switch that switches. So if one side is low, the starboard side per se, and then the port side battery is good, and I don't have enough power to churn over the motor on the starboard side, there's a switch up top. It's like a relay switch, and I click it, and it'll connect the power from the port side battery to send it over to the starboard side, so that way I could start up the starter motor. It's like a jump start per se that's already built in. So the way I'm tracing the wires on here, I could see how it's connected. It's an old antiquated kind of system. But it works when you have one low battery. You don't need jumper cables. You just flip the switch and boom, you can take power from the other side. It's like connecting them in parallel. So see, parallel DC. So this switch, if I put it towards my port side, it'll hook up the power down low from the port side battery to the stopper side. If I switch it the other way, it does the opposite. Here's my 2 positive wires that come off the battery charger. And if we follow, this one here goes up and around, comes down, connects here to this bus bar. Then you have a wire that comes up, connects to this. This is the switch for up top. That yellow wire controls the switch, which connects and feeds these two. See the other big gauge red wire coming off, connecting to here, this bus bar. And that big red wire goes to the battery on the port side. This red wire coming back, see that connection there? That fat wire, thick gauge wire, connects to the starboard side battery. So the skinny red one, smaller red one, that's the one from the battery charger, comes across, connects to here. Okay, now the other wire goes out and it connects, it's right here, this red wire here, connects to here. It does the same thing vice versa. So you can either draw power from the port side battery up to the switch, relay switch, or you can draw power from the starboard side battery up through to the relay switch. Then there's one extra power wire. This hot wire here goes down around and feeds all the way to the bow of the boat, to the other battery. This wire here is the neutral wire, or your negative, that goes down, connects to the black there. I know it should all be black, but yeah, that's the negative terminal, which everything is hooked up to. So on my battery switch, on my batteries, there's a negative wire that connects the 2 negative terminals together. So now what I'm gonna do is leave my relay hooked up to the switch up on the helm. But then I'm going to just disconnect this battery charger cables from the relay. And then when I hook up the new battery charger, I'm gonna connect it directly to each battery. And then when I need to draw power from one side to the other, it'll draw, because the 2 positives will link up. I'm leaving those up there. Look at this beauty coming by. She's a beauty, huh? Distractions, distractions, distractions. Yeah, so you get the idea. We'll see how it does when it's all said and done. Oh, one other situation. My battery charger is a 20 amp. My shore power is 30 amp. Okay, looks like this 20 amp charger can work on a 120 volt circuit, which is what I have on the boat. And what it will do is it will use all available amps and split it up between the batteries depending what the battery requires. So it has some kind of charging technology there. So I'm good. I can plug it right into where the old one was plugged in. So of course I got to figure out what happened. So I peeled back the electrical tape. You can see it's wet, so there was some moisture in here, condensation maybe, but there's also a corroded connection here. And then this is my wire that goes to the forward battery. So there. Oh, now we're gonna look inside. Here's the plug I should be getting power from. We'll look inside and see what's going on inside. Curious. Okay, so this says dock 1, so I mean dock 3, so basically bank 3. This was dock 1, so bank 1. And then this one is for the third one, DC positive. It says DC positive. So this is that positive wire that ran to my battery to the bow, pretty sure now. And then there's this guy right here, which was the one that went to the negative terminal. I just cut the end of it. So that confirms, and here's the 3 wires from the 3-prong house plug that hooks up to the circuit panel. Negative is white, power or hot black, because that's how they did it. And then the ground green. So here you go. But now, I also want to point out, looking inside there doesn't look too great. And the back of this felt warm. So I want to take the back of this out. It's pretty cruddy in there. So most definitely, and this thing went bad. It went bad before the boat had overheated. I was having troubles with battery charging, and I had noticed that. So that was not the cause of the overheat, and the overheat did not cause this battery charger to go bad. I think it's just aged with time, corrosion, salt water, moisture, condensation, all of that. You can see that it was right on in the wiring and everything is. So it was time for it to bite the bucket. It did pay its price though. All right, I'll try to figure out if I could see any dates on here. Oh, there we go. There's a date. July 2004. So this baby's 20, almost 20 years old. So she's mounted pretty much. And I got one more screw on the back to reach. Not a magnetic screwdriver, so I used some electric tape. And I'll start to screw it in and then boom, remove the tape. Before powering that battery charger, I needed to be certain that the extra power wire did go to the forward battery. From the forward battery all the way to here, and I connected it using the voltmeter, connected the positive terminal on the voltmeter to this, and connected the negative terminal to the wire I ran from the battery. And I had voltage reading of power from the forward battery. So I know for sure now, 100%, this wire was feeding the positive terminal on the forward battery. So now I can just continue with my installation. I also decided that it would just be easier to just use the bus bars that were there. So I connected the battery charger to the existing bus bars, and those bus bars will connect to batteries 1 and 2 in the forward battery. Okay, everything is connected, but that red over to the right, red number 1, means there is a fault on battery number 1. All right, now we have all green lights and it's charging. Before we had a red fault down there, and the red fault was because one of my batteries, the negative wire, was not going all the way through from the bus bar. I thought the battery up forward, that this was going up to its negative terminal, but apparently it's not. So this bus bar won't work on that battery, so I have to run a straight wire from the negative connection here all the way to the forward battery for my windlass. So this is just a test connection, you can see. I'll show you why. You see that wire? Woo. That wire is going all the way up forward to the battery. Quick test run. Now I have to do a more permanent connection. Twisting and turning my body into this engine bay to try to find a conduit. Oh, there it is. So here's the inside of my closet where that hose came through. There's a wall. Here's the wall that goes there. It's a wall that covers all of these wires and stuff. But there's the other end of the pipe right there. And here's the wire we fed through. So right through the crack there, right underneath here. and there's the battery. So now I'm just gonna feed her through. Ta-da! And she's gonna connect to the negative, and we're gonna be golden. Put everything back. Another job has been completed by Solitude and Sailing. Here I am in my engine bay, and we've completely installed the battery charger. I'm thoroughly happy with the way this job came out. All 3 batteries are charging, all lights are green. Now it's time for some fishing and cruising in no time. Right after I drop in some zip ties and clean up this wiring and the mess in the cabin. Thank you for watching another episode of Solitude and Sailing. We'll catch you on the next round. The bait fish are back, so that means the stripers and the blues should be hitting. So it's time to get back to fishing. There's been enough boat projects this season, and you can't be all work and no play. So it's time to get out there and play.